An AI agent asks permission before a sensitive action. That sounds like strong human oversight, but the same person may see dozens of prompts. Most look routine, technical, and nearly identical. Eventually, approving becomes a reflex instead of a decision. An attacker only needs one dangerous request to blend in. The approval button still works exactly as designed. The security failure happens in the review experience. Approval fatigue is an AI security problem. Human review is valuable, but it is not automatic safety. The reviewer needs accurate and understandable context. They need time to compare the request with the goal. They need authority to reject or interrupt the agent. Repeated prompts consume attention and weaken discrimination. Vague summaries hide meaningful differences between actions. Routine approvals train people to expect routine outcomes. That expectation can be exploited by a compromised agent. Oversight works only when review remains meaningful. Imagine an agent processing a long administrative workflow. It requests several legitimate low-impact approvals first. Each prompt uses the same reassuring language and layout. The reviewer approves them because the workflow is expected. Then one request quietly expands the destination or scope. Its summary still says continue the scheduled task. The dangerous details are buried or omitted. One more click authorizes a much larger consequence. Repetition turns a security checkpoint into camouflage. OWASP describes dialogue forging as lies in the loop. The attack targets what the reviewer sees before execution. A malicious action can be presented as something harmless. The interface may summarize untrusted agent, controlled text. Important parameters can be hidden behind friendly labels. The reviewer approves the description, not the real operation. That breaks the connection between consent and execution. Human review becomes an attack surface itself. Approval displays must come from trusted enforcement code. A useful prompt answers 5 questions immediately. Which verified agent is requesting the action? Which user goal and workflow produced this request? What exact tool and parameters will execute? Which data, account, system, or audience is affected? What changes if the reviewer approves or rejects? Show differences from the last approved action. Mark information that came from untrusted content. Context lets a person detect the unusual request. Not every action deserves the same approval workflow. Read-only queries may fit a narrow policy automatically. Reversible internal changes may need a clear preview. External messages and code execution require stronger review. Deletion, payments, and privilege changes need critical controls. Risk classification reduces noise around important decisions. It also prevents approval from becoming ceremonial. The policy engine, not the model, assigns action risk. High-impact actions should fail closed when uncertain. Never ask whether the agent may simply continue. Show the exact operation before it reaches the tool. Display the destination, identity, scope, and affected records. For changes, show a readable before and after difference. For messages, show the audience and final content. For data sharing, show every receiving service. For commands, show the executable and bounded arguments. Require a specific reason for exceptional approval. Precision makes dangerous variation harder to hide. Approval should authorize one exact pending action. It should not become a reusable permission token. Bind it to the tool parameters, user, and workflow. Give the approval a short expiration time. Reject any parameter change after the review. Use unique action identifiers to stop replay. Require another review when scope or destination changes. Enforce these checks outside the language model. Consent must match what the system actually executes. The best approval prompt may be the one removed safely. Create narrow policies for predictable low-risk operations. Use allow list bounds and least privileged tool scopes. Group related reversible actions into one transparent plan. Do not batch unrelated or high-impact decisions together. Pause loops that generate repeated approval requests. Let reviewers interrupt and roll back operations. Escalate only when policy cannot decide safely. Less noise gives important prompts more attention. Some operations need more than one click. Separate the agent proposing an action from enforcement. Require independent validation for high-impact parameters. Use step-up authentication for privileged or external actions. Consider a second reviewer for exceptional blast radius. Provide a safe reject path without breaking the workflow. Keep a rollback or recovery plan visible. Never let urgency language bypass control requirements. Critical approval should create useful friction. Agents should not pressure people into approving. Cap retries after a request is rejected. Rate limit repeated prompts from one workflow or tool. Detect small changes designed to trigger another review. Preserve the original rejection and its reason. Block escalation through alternate tools or identities. Timeout abandoned requests instead of leaving them active. Route suspicious repetition to security monitoring. A rejected action must stay rejected unless meaningfully changed. Log every request, decision, action, and outcome. Track prompt volume by agent, tool, and risk level. Measure approval speed and repeated rejection patterns. Very fast approvals can indicate rubber stamping. Frequent overrides can indicate a noisy policy. Compare displayed parameters with executed parameters. Alert when scope expands after similar benign requests. Test interruption, expiration, rollback, and replay blocking. Review quality is an observable security control. First, classify every agent action by consequence. Second, auto-handle only narrow low-risk operations. Third, show exact parameters for reviewed actions. Verify agent identity and request origin. Bind approval to one immutable action. Sixth, rate limit retrace and stop pressure loops. Seventh, strengthen review for high-impact operations. Eighth, log outcomes and test rollback paths. Good oversight is precise, contextual, and enforceable. Human approval remains essential for consequential AI actions, but more prompts do not automatically create more safety. Repeated vague requests can weaken the final control. Design approvals around risk, context, and exact consequences. Keep authorization enforcement outside the model. Reduce noise while strengthening high-impact review. Measure reviewer load and investigate suspicious repetition. If you are finding this content useful, please subscribe, like, and comment. Build approval systems where every click has clear meaning